I just built a flower bed. I've got a bunch of flat stacked rock, and I did that. I put pavers here, and I poured gravel all over there. And that's my finished product. Stones can turn into something beautiful, or stones can be used to kill. That's what happens today in Acts chapter 7. Stephen gets stoned to death. His only crime? Following Jesus and being bold about it. To understand his story, you have to go back to the 6th chapter. Remember, you read that yesterday. And in the 6th chapter, Stephen is listed as one of the first deacons. So as he becomes a deacon, I'm sure his life is going to be perfect now, because everyone knows Christians never experience hard times. Actually, the exact opposite is true. The Bible even promises in a verse like 2 Timothy 3:12, all those who desire to live godly in Christ Jesus will suffer persecution. Some people try to teach that Christians will never be sick and always be rich and blessed. And it is great to be a Christian and joyful and wonderful. But the Bible never promises that we are exempt from hard times. Struggles come to every believer. But in addition to the struggle, there is a God of power who always helps us grow in the midst of it. So we have Stephen in chapter 6 doing miraculous things for the Lord, and the Jews began to debate with him. And they can't win the debate. They can't stand against the power of God on Stephen's life. So if you can't win the debate, what do? You make up lies. So they get some people to lie about Stephen. Oh, he doesn't believe in the law of Moses, and he's speaking out against the temple. So they drag him before the Sanhedrin, and that's where we pick up the story in chapter 7. Was Stephen really speaking out against the law of Moses? Well, I don't think so. He's about to preach a sermon that starts in Genesis and goes through the Old Testament. Please read every verse. It's phenomenal to read in chapter 7 how he outlines the history of the people of God. And if you look at this history, you'll see people who went through difficult times. We have Abraham promised that he would have a mighty nation from his descendants, and he's 100 years old and doesn't have a kid. But then Stephen preaches, he had. Isaac was born. And from Isaac, there's Jacob. And from Jacob, he had 12 sons. One of them was Joseph. Oh, Joseph was blessed in so many ways. He had a coat of many colors. And Joseph got thrown into a dungeon and sold into slavery in Egypt. Bad things sometimes happen to good people. But he did not stay in the dungeon. He became the prime minister. He became the ruler over all of the land. If you look at the history of the people of Israel, yes, we go through hard times, but we have a God of power who's always on our side. They're listening intently until Stephen gets to the end of the sermon. He takes it all the way to David and Solomon. And then he says, you're just like your ancestors. You resist the Holy Spirit, and you persecute the prophets, and you even killed Jesus. At that point, the Sanhedrin has heard enough. They drag him outside the city gates of Jerusalem, and they pick up stones, and they stone Stephen to death. So just one chapter ago, he became a deacon. And how did he get rewarded? He lost his life. But did you see how God opened his eyes, and he could see into the heavens? He could see the glory. He could see where it was that he was going. You might be going through a hard time, but I promise you, there is hope. There is victory on the other side. And when you get to chapter 8, tomorrow, the very first verse tells us, because of the persecution, the Christians went to Judea and Samaria. They left Jerusalem, which is what they were supposed to do, if you remember Acts 1:8. They finally left their hometown, and they took the gospel further than it had ever gone before. Yes, bad things had happened, but God never wastes a hurt, and he used those difficult times to spread the gospel even further. I bet no one throws a rock at you today, but you may have some hard times and difficult things thrown your way. Just remember, you will overcome, because the God of heaven and earth is still on your side. Thanks for listening. We'll see you tomorrow in chapter 8.